Super soldiers in fiction. That is what we are going to be talking about today, okay? In the big old year of 2025, if I have to explain what a super soldier is to you, the best way that I would do it is imagine this, okay? You take a soldier, and then you're like, hey, yo, how do we Lockheed Martin the actual human being? And then boom, you get something like Master Chief from the Halo universe. Or if they're an evil company, what you're gonna get is Nemesis from Resident Evil 3, okay? I tried to make it fairly loose, but I didn't want to make it as easy as, oh yeah, Sentry from the Thunderbolts, which is basically just Superman, but like has one very key weakness, and that is he could just turn evil if he uses his power too much. Yeah, outside of that, that's not what we're going to be doing, okay? In this video, we are going to be going through super soldiers throughout fiction, and I tried to stress it out to the point where, like, maybe you don't have to actually have, like, a cybernetic or a biological advantage. You can be like the pilots from Titanfall, which more or less just have a jetpack and a big old metal buddy called a Titan, to the Space Marines of Warhammer 40k, and that's going to be fun to talk about. Okay, that is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be going through super soldiers in fiction, everything from the Spartans of Halo to the Nemesis enemy from Resident Evil 3 to Captain America from the MCU, and we are going to be ranking super soldiers based off how effective I think they are. Who are the best super soldiers in fiction? That is what we're going to be talking about today, and as you can tell, we're about to reach our 250,000 subscriber goal. And I know we're at like 212, and some of you are going to be like, that doesn't seem that close. Brother, I'm going to be real. I wouldn't be surprised if we reach it by the middle of August. I think by the middle of August, we're going to reach 250,000 subscribers. And you know what? Let's try to hit 500,000 before the release of GTA 6. That is my goal, and that's only possible with the support of you guys. We have a lot of new content coming in. We're doing Q&As in the Discord, links down below. And with all that out of the way, let's get into super soldiers in fiction. Let's go. Spartans from the Halo universe, okay? And I understand you have Spartan 1s, you got Spartan 2s, and you have Spartan 3s, okay? And those are very, very key differences. However, we're going to be covering just Master Chief, basically, okay? Listen, you got Mjolnir armors, literally surgically, not grafted. I mean, like, your body is specifically built to be compatible with the Mjolnir armor set, which is basically a toned-down version of a Space Marine in the Warhammer universe. And in some scenarios, I would actually argue the sealed system for the Mjolnir armor set is actually a smidgen better than what we get in the Warhammer universe, but we'll cover Space Marines when we get to Space Marines. But when we're looking at the Spartans from the Halo universe, brother, Master Chief is literally doing a one-man, not a one-man army, but he is the key difference between humanity staying and humanity going, okay? Enhanced strength, enhanced speed. Okay, the one thing this is actually going to be something I kind of have to take away a little bit. Because at least with the Space Marines and Warhammer, the weapons that they use, any normal human literally cannot use them. The problem when we're looking at the Spartans from, or at least Master Chief from the Halo universe, is that he's basically using the exact same weapons that every other soldier is using. Yeah, there's a few things that he can use. He can take off a turret and he can use it. But like, brother, I'm sorry, a bolt rifle in the Warhammer universe would be the equivalent of heavy artillery in the Halo universe. So there's going to be some problems that I'm going to go here. However, the only thing I got to add in is that the Spartans were literally made to go against other humans. The Space Marines were made to go after everything from demon gods to Terminids. So, not the Terminids, Tyranids, my goodness, bro. Helldivers is rotting my brain right now, okay? So when we're looking at the Spartans from the Halo universe, I'm going to put them in my MVP, okay? They're undeniably in A tier. What is keeping them back? The fact is that they're, in other verses, they would just be the equivalent of, like, a slightly above average enemy. Like, I'm just gonna be real with you. Like, I think Master Chief would be able to hang in a lot of verses. The problem is that in, like, verses like the Warhammer verse, he would be the equivalent of, like, a toned-down Space Marine. And it's because of that, I'm just gonna put him in the MVP. The Nemesis from Resident Evil 3. Okay, now take... Actually, I don't even know how to describe this one. Okay, you basically have the Hulk, but, like, tone down him getting angrier and angrier, and that makes him more powerful, and then put all of those points into durability. because this thing is so outrageously durable, you literally have to resort to breaking down its... Like, you have to biodegrade this thing into almost nothing to actually take it out. It's taken a full front hit from an RPG. It's been mowed down by machine gun fire. That is how effective this thing is, okay? Durability is outside the wazoo. Some problems, I don't know. The problems with it, I understand plot protected Jill Valentine. I get it. But there comes a certain point where I'm viewing Jill Valentine. Get out of here, bug. Yo, I caught that. Listen, cat's on camera, dude. Maybe I got some a little bit super soldier tendencies. Where was I? Okay, when we're looking at Nemesis, the problem that I have is bro literally did lose to Jill Valentine. And I understand the plot itself was coming in to give her a chance. But like, Leon Kennedy... I just accept that Leon Kennedy is basically superhuman. I accept that. He could have been on this list. But the Nemesis, I think Master Chief beats Nemesis. I do. I think Master Chief beats the Nemesis. I think I think he would amount to what would be a normal enemy in the Warhammerverse. I think he's going to be pretty... this durability is too crazy sometimes. I'm going to put him in very strong. Okay? His durability is so crazy that it actually makes him competitive with enemies that I would put above, like a Jill Valentine. I'm going to put him in very strong. I think Master Chief beats him, and I think a few other people on this list beat him, but I think he's a perfect middle of the road. He is going to be the person you have to get past to get into an MVP or a one-man army. Captain America. Okay, I think this is there's one other character in the MCU that's going to be on here, and he's on here for a different reason. When I'm looking at Captain America, the problem with Captain America that I have is the fact that it's like, so let me get this straight. You were imbued with the powers of an Infinity Stone, and what did you effectively get, if we're just being honest? You're like you're a bit faster than a normal person. You're a bit stronger than a normal person, and we like heighten your reaction time a little bit. But like, other than that, you're like just a really fit human. Like, that's the problem that I have. It's like, I'm sorry I got to rant about this, but like, this is actually a good rant to have. I watched the Thunderbolts, and the movie actually kind of gets ruined for me a little bit when you find out that all they did with Sentry is that they were trying to make another super soldier more powerful than Captain America, and they literally just created Superman. They created Superman without the weakness to kryptonite. Okay? Where the actual plot has to take out Sentry. And I'm over here like, how did they make that without an Infinity Stone? Because Captain America, in terms of everything, like, I think he would probably be, that's tough. Because I'm sorry, dude, Iron Man absolutely clowns Captain America. Like, he just does. I'm sorry, I gotta bring that up too, okay? Like, no, when people talk about Civil War, okay, they talk about Captain America Civil War. Captain America was able to beat Iron Man. Dude, did you watch the same movie that I did? Number one, Iron Man was nerfed in literally every conceivable way you could. The movie went out of its way to nerf Iron Man to a point where it made Captain America, like, first off, 2v1, you have two super soldiers. Iron Man is actively holding back against Captain America, but not holding back against Bucky. And you want to say, well, Captain America was kind of holding back. Bro was not. Quite literally was not. Okay? He was trying his damnedest to put Iron Man, to decommission Iron Man. Well, he didn't finish the job. It took all of that for Captain America to win. The fact that the battle is done indoors, by the way, which is like the only arena where Iron Man would not have an advantage, okay? You run this outside, Iron Man wins, okay? I'm going to put Captain America middle of the road, very strong. Same level as Nemesis. Okay, you know what? Roast me in the comment section. I legitimately do believe Captain America would have trouble facing the Nemesis. I do. I actually do believe he would have some level of trouble. I think it's fairly even. Obviously, plot comes in. Captain America wins. Like, I'll be real here. Master Chief, I can see a scenario where he's able to edge it out. I really do believe that. I think Master Chief could edge out a win against Captain America. Fight me in the comment section. Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. There's a lot of people that get angry at me. I don't really cover Gears of War, and I cover a lot of the same IPs in here, so I tried to throw in a few new ones. Okay, he's a gear in the Gears of War series, okay? Super Soldier, I mean, he's a super soldier in the same way that, like, oh my goodness. So, Arnold is in the original Predator movie. Like, no, like, he's an above-human specimen 100%, but like a super soldier per se, I wouldn't really say that. Obviously, like, he's not gonna go that high, but I do believe when we're talking about super soldiers, you do gotta bring up the Gears from Gears of War. The fact is that they were able to win their respective conflicts. I think they would do well in different verses. I think they're more powerful than, like, some people in the UNSC. I think that's a fair take to be had. I think he could I don't think Marcus Phoenix beats Nemesis by himself. In theory, but like, I don't know. I'm gonna put him in tough. I gotta put him there. Solo feats, he needs a few more before I put him up a bit higher. I'm sorry, Master Chief clears, and I will stand on that easily. BJ Blazkowicz from the Wolfenstein series. Dude, he is literally a diet version of Doom Guy, and they had to figure out an enemy that you could do that to that was human, that nobody would feel bad of. So they chose a version of the Germans from World War II that actually won. That is basically what Wolfenstein is, and when we're looking at BJ Blazkowicz, which is actually related to Doom Guy, but it's a version of Doom Guy in a different universe, which is, like, actually the lore reasoning for it. Okay, I'm sorry, solo feats by himself. I understand he's supposed to be a regular dude, but this is like a regular dude in the same way that, like, Master Chief's a regular dude. Okay, when we're going into, like, the newest Wolfenstein game, he literally has a cybernetic body. The only part of him that is organic is his head. Any damage to his body does not, and first off, his body's actually stated to be way more powerful than the average person, is a legitimate super soldier. It's only his head that you can actually damage, and it would take him out. And I understand, like, yeah, I guess that kind of doesn't really mean a whole lot, but, like, obviously, dude, he's more powerful than Marcus Phoenix. I would put him in toe-to-toe with Captain America. And I would actually put him slightly above Captain America. I could see a scenario where he beats the Nemesis, but the problem is he's like a more nerfed version of the Doomslayer in his human form. Doomslayer in his human form is already an MVP. Doomslayer, I don't want to spoil it. I'm going to put BJ Blazkowicz in very strong. Agent 47 from the Hitman franchise. Super Soldier 100%, Master of Martial Arts, faster reaction time, there's a few other things. Master of Espionage, stealth is his whole thing. A lot of the people that he is taking care of, he's so efficient at it that they actively think that it was an accident. Master of Disguise is another one. And I understand that sounds, I don't know, I've said this a few times, okay? I think the act of precision is better and more aura-filled. This isn't an aura one, but this is like how effective I think they are. More aura-filled than just going scorched earth on a target. The fact that, like, Agent 47 could walk into a building and take out one person and then walk out and be completely unharmed, and people would think that the assassination was an accident because of how effective he was. I'm gonna put him in tough. I think that's fair. Yeah, obviously, you put him in a one-on-one against, like, Marcus Phoenix. I can see Marcus Phoenix winning that. BJ Blazkowicz, I don't even think he turns up as a threat. The Nemesis, maybe. Master Chief, he's just a regular guy. I'm sorry. Like, I gotta put it there. I think that's valid. Solid Snake from Metal Gear. Okay, now, take what I said with Agent 47, but literally crank it up to an absolute 10, okay? Dude, Solid Snake is literally a stealth god. This man is pulling up with a cardboard box and a can of spray paint, and he is sneaking into not just the enemy base, the enemy country, sneaking into an enemy base, finding out where the enemy lives, and then going to his house, living in his house for a full month, and then asking him, hey, yo, bro, can you pass the syrup? And then they still wouldn't know he's in the building, and then he would finally get the job done. Brother, he is such an effective stealth operative that whenever he's going up against somebody and they find out that they sent Solid Snake against them, they actively lose all trust of their surroundings. Imagine being such an effective stealth tool that when your enemy finds out that you're in the forest, they instantly try to move to an area that, guess what, isn't in the forest. Brother, I'm sorry, he is a tactical espionage god, okay? Like, I was gonna put Sam Fisher on here when I realized that, like, okay, Metal Gear is what I like to call military anime fiction. That is the best way that I can describe Metal Gear. Whenever people want to say, like, oh, I want to play Metal Gear Solid 5 because I'm a big fan of Ghost Recon Breakpoint, big fan of Ghost Recon Wildlands, I have to sit them down, put the hand on their shoulder, and say, brother, Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain is basically if I took Ghost Recon Wildlands and smashed it with an anime. That is what it is. It is so outrageously over the top. He is literally running a fade with a Metal Gear the size of a skyscraper and barely sweating it. Give him a horse, a cardboard box, and a can of spray paint. He will take over the world. Okay, I'm sorry. Actual one-man army. I actually do put him... I'm sorry. Dude, it is so outrageous how powerful he is. Like, it's like the plot itself. Yeah, slimes Agent 47, destroys Marcus Phoenix. Dude, I think he would become better. Like, yeah, one-man army. Like, if you go down the lore of, like, Metal Gear, you realize that it's just stupid how powerful he is. It's dumb. Like, he basically just turns invisible at any given point, but he's, like, not actually superhuman. He's just that good. Yeah, no, one-man army. He survived getting hit with an RPG and a helicopter going over the ocean. That is how... I don't get it. I actually don't get it. One-man army, no quest. Space Marines from the Warhammer universe. Okay. I actually do like how the Warhammer does their super soldiers. They don't go so crazy into, like, shielding tech. It's like, hey, yo, we're going to use our ability in surgery. We're going to be taking a normal human, and then we're going to lengthen their limbs, inject them with human growth hormone, and even then, they're not quite there, so we're going to give them 2 hearts, 2 sets of lungs, and then some other organs, and then we are basically going to weld them to the inside of an Astartes armor, and then maybe they'll survive. Yeah, no, the actual surgery that they go through to become a Space Marine is considered so deadly that if you take 100 applicants, only about, like, 1.5 of them actually survive. And I actually do mean 1.5, okay? And then let's assume they, like, go out and battle. They're probably going to get turned into a dreadnought where they're going to actually become more powerful because they become more of a machine. Okay, when I'm looking at these Space Marines in the Warhammer universe, I would actually put them above... I would put them... The problem is that the Halo universe is literally a toned-down version of the Warhammer universe. And I said that. We did a Q&A, and they asked me, what would the Flood do in the Warhammer universe? And we can make this a full video. The problem is that there's a few enemies in the Warhammer universe that are literally a built-in counter. Like, the Necrons destroy the Flood so easily that they wouldn't consider it a threat. Some Primarchs are a hard counter to the Flood. But it's just the Tyranids are such a more powerful version of the Flood in terms of how they operate. That's why people think the Flood would be very competitive. The fact is I'm gonna put them in the MVP. I think they're a little bit more powerful than Spartans. I gotta put them there. Deadpool from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Man, dude, we had so many big ones that it actually kind of ruins it a little bit. Okay, when we're taking Deadpool from the MCU, we're really looking at, yeah, no, he has good reaction time, absurdly durable with his healing factor, master of weapons, but outside of that, he's not, like we're really comparing him to, like, we're comparing him to Master Chief, a Space Marine, and literally Solid Snake. When I'm looking at Deadpool and all of his abilities, we're looking at, like, maybe a Captain America level. Captain America level, I think he would be able to do well. Because your argument would be Deadpool versus BJ Blazkowicz is kind of like, he's like Cable. That would be your argument, but even then, okay, you know what? Because I want to start a debate, let's go, let's put Deadpool up. Actually, ooh, that's actually kind of tough. Because the healing factor of Deadpool is actually outrageous the more I think about it. Ooh, I'm going to put, you could actually, The healing factor of Deadpool is so crazy that I'm sorry, yes, he would actually be a more effective soldier than Captain America. Captain America's just more moral. I'm going to put it in MVP. I'm going to put him in MVP. The healing factor is actually just outrageous, dude. Witchers from the Witcher universe. Yes, these are technically super soldiers. They do fit the criteria. They are just in a different time frame. I know somebody's going to say, oh, why are you comparing Dark Ages to futuristic? I get it. I know why you're mad. But at the same time, they do fit the criteria of Super Soldier. They just do, okay? You have enhanced reaction time, you have enhanced strength, you have enhanced speed, agility. They have the ability to hyper-focus on targets. They also have this ability to do a little thing called signs, which is basically pocketbook magic. And, oh yeah, all of that, okay? They are facing monsters that were literally Okay, nah, I don't want to say they were made because it does work a little bit different. Monsters that are a direct predator to humans, and they are enhanced by those mutagens. When I'm looking at them, I'm going to be real. I like to think that if a Witcher was in modern day also, I'm sorry, a modern day Witcher is very ambitious, but I actually would like to see how that would look. Like, I don't want CD Projekt Red to make it, but I would be curious on what it would look like, a modern-day Witcher. I think they would look it would be like an Agent 47 game, but it would be a Hitman game, but you're tasked with killing monsters. I'm going to put the Witcher at the same level of an Agent 47, maybe a little bit above, because there is a weaponry difference, and I do believe, brother, if you gave Geralt of Rivia a force multiplier, that would go insane-o style. I'm going to put it in. The Hunters from Bloodborne. Okay, a lot of people aren't going to like this because I have a lot of FromSoft fans. The Hunter is not that strong when you compare him. Our Hunter's a little bit different. But the Hunters as a whole, their best ability, and this is an actual criticism that you can have of FromSoft games, they have to explain the resurrection ability that all of their characters have, and it is kind of funny how they do it. So in Dark Souls, the reason why they have this resurrection ability is because death no longer operates because of the age that they're in. In Bloodborne, they die, but they go to sleep and they go to the Hunter's dream and then they wake up again. In Elden Ring, death was literally taken out of the rules of the universe by a full god queen. So the problem with the Hunters from Bloodborne is that they're actually pretty easy to take care of. The problem is that their ability to resurrect. But if they go out of universe and they cannot resurrect, they're strong. Like, they're strong. But, like, other than that, they're not that powerful. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like I think a Witcher takes out a Hunter from Bloodborne. Yeah, there's some speed. There's some reaction time. It's not anywhere near the level that, like, the Witchers have in the Witcher universe. I'm going to put them in strong. Their strongest ability is that they can resurrect themselves, and I think that's kind of cheating because it has to be in their universe for it to work. Pilots from Titanfall. Bro, I love Titanfall so much, dude. I'm sorry, I will never forgive EA for not giving me a Titanfall 3. Like, so this is a side tangent, but, like, let me get this. You know what, let me cross out. I use this as therapeutics, okay? We'll cover pilots in a second, but, like, let me get this straight, okay? You're EA, a multi-billion-dollar company, by the way, okay? And you buy Dead Space. And Dead Space 3 has a multiplayer mode because that's where you thought everything was going, and you were kind of right, but Dead Space 3 did not have to have a multiplayer, okay? And it underperformed under your metrics, and it didn't actually underperform. It did end up making money, so that was bullshit. And then they just take the entirety of the Dead Space IP, and they close the publisher, and they don't allow anything to be made outside of, guess what? One remake. One! Okay? That's what they decide to do. And then you have Titanfall, okay? And Titanfall was so ahead of its time that it literally made Call of Duty make Call of Duty Black Ops 3 with the jump system. The jump system was because Call of Duty was legitimately worried that Titanfall would take up some real estate in the FPS market. Because Call of Duty was outperforming Battlefield and they thought it was over. And then Titanfall came in. They thought Titanfall was going to become the new Battlefield. And it could have if, EA didn't do the dumbest thing ever and make Titanfall 2 have the worst release window that I have ever seen. Literally being nicknamed the Titanfall 2 effect. And it bombed because they didn't want to support it any further. They treasure planeted Titanfall 2. Absolutely embarrassing. Okay? EA will never be forgiven. All the homies hate EA for that. Everybody here dislikes EA for what they did to Titanfall. Get out of here, okay? When we're looking at the pilot stuff, yeah, they have like a... The problem is, if we're going pure biologics, they literally are just a regular person. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to put them that high. I just wanted an excuse to talk about pilots in Titanfall. I really did. They have a cool jump mode, but other than that, right, you can say reaction time because to move around like that, you either got to be on a, like, Adderall or just superhuman. I'm going to put him in strong. I just wanted to talk about it. So yeah, I'm going to put it there. The Doomslayer from the Doom universe. Okay, yes, I'm working on the Doom lore video. Yes, I see the comment section. No, the race tier list is not being made unless it goes on a Patreon, which I haven't started that up yet. So everything's being updated. When we're looking at the Doomslayer, as a normal human, he is literally Master Chief level. As a normal human being without any real enhancements, he is at Master Chief level in terms of ability. Because he is a one-man armying an entire legion of hell. And then after the Doom one, when they put him in the Divinity Machine, where they literally give him the power of a Night Sentinel god, which is essentially an Archangel in this universe, okay? The Night Sentinels... Yeah, Night Race are technically would be the Archangels of that verse. So essentially, the powers of an Archangel. He can live forever. He actively gets stronger from enemies that he's slain. He can't actually die from AIDS. What's another one ability that he can have? He can manifest weapons out of pretty much nothingness. But, like, he doesn't use that ability because it kind of ruins the fun of the game. And that is true. He doesn't actually need weapons. He can do everything with his hands, but he thinks weapons are fun, so he continues to use them. All the new ammo that gets created after he performs a chainsaw, he's literally manifesting that into reality because he needs more ammo. He is so powerful, he can manifest his own ammo. Dude, he literally killed the god of the multiverse because it was the most powerful thing there. He is so powerful, and I keep on saying it, and I know I bring it up a lot, but I want you to think about this. Doomslayer is so powerful within his multiverse that when the devil gets resurrected, which you find out the devil's actually the god of this multiverse, when he gets resurrected, he wants to be in the image of the Doomslayer because that is the most powerful entity in the multiverse. The god wanted to be in Doom Guy's image. I'm sorry, one-man army. And I know, Solid Snake is in there for a completely different reason, and I might move him down, but this is kind of funny. But I'm sorry, I gotta put both of them. I really just do. And there you go. Though that is me going over super soldiers in fiction. I know there's a few that didn't quite make the cut. I know Raiden from Metal Gear Rising didn't make it in here. I just never played the game, and I didn't want to provide any comment on a game that I didn't specifically play. Okay, if this does well, let's try to hit 3,000 likes for this video. We could make a spiritual successor, okay? We got a lot of new content coming in. I'm gonna try to do 4 videos a week throughout the month of July, and we have a creepypasta video coming out this Thursday, I do believe. We have a lot of stuff that's coming out that I'm really hyped to be showing you guys. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to stay notified. We're trying to get to 500,000 subscribers before the release of GTA 6, and I'm just here to provide you with some entertainment, okay? We got a lot of new stuff coming in. Join the fan club, the Discord. It's completely free. I don't charge anything for anything there. It's a pretty cool community. It's just a bunch of, autists talking about things that they like. I'm not even kidding you. That's literally what it turned into, and I love it. And with all that out of the way, I will see you all in the next video. Adios, guys.